The Perump Nugget is bursting with fun. With over 550 machines, we have the biggest slot floor in town. 5 levels of play and new machines arriving daily. Our huge pit is open 24/7 and is the most comfortable in town. Plus, we have the finest poker room. Play bingo, browse our gift shop, or enjoy the live entertainment at the stage bar. Our cosmic bowling show is out of this world. Children can play at Kids Venture or at the arcade while you get pampered at a Touch of Gold beauty salon. We also have 3 restaurants for your dining enjoyment, centrally located on the corner of Highway 160 and 372.
The U.S. Senate has crossed the 60-vote threshold needed to pass the last-minute compromise plan to raise the nation's debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts. Once the Senate finishes voting, the bill goes to President Barack Obama to be signed into law. The bill imposes sweeping new spending cuts over the next decade. The measure was approved by the House of Representatives last night by a 269 to 161 vote. If the current $14.3 trillion debt limit is not increased by the end of the day, Americans could face rapidly rising interest rates, a falling dollar, and a shakier financial market, among other problems. Regardless, the federal government could still face a credit rating downgrade. The agreement, which was reached Sunday by Obama and congressional leaders from both parties, calls for up to $2.4 trillion in savings over the next decade, raises the debt ceiling through the end of 2012, and establishes a special congressional committee to recommend long-term fiscal reforms. The other $500 billion increase would be in the debt limit, and it would be subject to a congressional vote of disapproval that can be vetoed by the president. In the second stage, a special joint committee of Congress would recommend further deficit reduction steps totaling $1.5 trillion or more, with Congress obligated to vote on the panel's proposals by the end of the year. The committee would comprise of 12 members, 6 from each chamber, equally divided between Democrats and Republicans. The panel's recommendations would be due by November 23rd and guarantee an up or down vote with amendments by December 23rd. The committee is expected to consider politically sensitive reforms to the tax code and entitlement programs, though Democrats and Republicans disagree on the likelihood of any eventual revenue increases. If the committee's recommendations are enacted, Obama would be authorized to increase the debt ceiling by up to $1.5 trillion. If the recommendations are not enacted, Obama can still raise the debt ceiling by $1.2 trillion. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.